Let's talk about the episode. Let's talk about the episode. So we got the Johnny the Mirror murder trial going on. Johnny didn't kick EJ off the case. Johnny finally proved that that video was a deep fake with the pixelation, the pausing, no shadows, no reflection, none of that. But basically, Johnny and Belle basically proved that that video was a deep fake. Belle didn't fight it at all. She let Johnny basically explain it. EJ was kicked off the case. He back there staring at people like he could burn a hole into somebody. Then that happened. Then after all that, Johnny rests, Belle rests. They decided it's in the jury hands. Everything going fine, cool, whatever. We got everybody saying not guilty besides this one person. I'm telling you, that man had to have a grudge against the Damaris. He had to. Like everybody else saying not guilty and you saying guilty. Oh, they rich and powerful. You think they can run over the police station and run over us? Oh, he guilty. Oh, he guilty. Then the vote started flipping the guilty to guilty. Then once this happening, EJ then had his own little revelation at home with little bad Rachel playing around with the paperweight, and the paperweight ended up, well, basically, let's go back. Marlena was keeping, I forgot the little girl name already, Rachel upstairs. She came down anyways once she realized that Marlena was stalling her upstairs. I think that's how it happened. She was stalling her upstairs, then she came downstairs, and she was playing with the paperweight, and then the paper. No, she came in. My bad, my bad, my bad. She came in, talked to John. Talked to DJ. EJ talked to Marlena. Rachel playing with the paperweight. Marlena told her to put the paperweight down, honey. That's glass. Stop playing with that. She's still up there just bouncing and playing around with it till it breaks. With EJ sitting there talking to Marlena in private while she's sitting up there playing with the paperweight, the thing shattered and break. EJ over there having a revelation of what actually happened. And remember that Rachel was also there that night holding the gun on him, and the gun accidentally went. I don't believe that for one second. I'm sorry. I don't believe that for one second. Okay, it wasn't Johnny. It wasn't Johnny. It wasn't Chanel. We gonna believe this little innocent girl did this, even though she bad enough and capable. I don't think I'm believing that one at all. That this can be Rachel this whole entire time. Cause correct me if I'm wrong. She was the main one against Johnny, didn't want to be around Johnny, didn't want to be seen around Johnny, didn't want to be bothered with Johnny. It's like every time Johnny was around, she had a bad reaction, didn't want to be around him, trying to find ways to get away from him, and now all of a sudden, EJ remember Rachel holding the gun and the gun accidentally went off and it was her. That's why he could never remember because he was calling himself protecting her. And then all of a sudden also that with that happening, Marlena said, you know what? You just confirmed my worst fears. I knew this because the way you was sitting up there, cause when you was talking to you when I put you in psychosis and you was talking, trying to remember, you would look down like you was looking down at somebody, not looking up normally like somebody be looking like I'm looking at y'all right now. You was looking down the whole time talking to said person, and I kind of suspected between the way you was looking down at them and not looking up that it was a possibility that Rachel also did. I don't think I believe this for one second. And then Kristen ain't make nothing no better. Kristen ain't do no favors at all. Once Marlena and EJ told her, "Look, it was your daughter, the one that shot us. You need to do something before the verdict come back." and it ended up being um, John Roman. Johnny, it ended up being Johnny live on the line because there is the verdict, and the jury rating, say what they guilty or not guilty plea, and the pleas going in, and you better hurry up and do something before I do something. And she was doing all this scrambling and running her like it don't make sense to me. Like after all this time, it was Rachel. She was kind of hostile against Johnny. She was also didn't want to be around Johnny. So you mean to tell me she don't remember shooting EJ? But she pretended like it was Johnny the whole time, then snitched on Johnny and all this and all that. And now all of a sudden you concerned and worried that if he gonna go to jail for the rest of his, I'm not buying it. It could be that she kind of blacked it out like Marlena said. It's a possibility that she don't remember this. It was a blackout moment for her. It can be all that and all this, but it's just not lining up correctly the way it should line up to me. What was all that pressure you was giving Johnny when you thought he was the one that shot EJ? How you didn't want to be around him and all this and all that. Now all of a sudden you concerned and worried about is he going to prison or not for the rest of his life? And then on top of it, you the one that actually shot EJ? And then your mama being, you know what, I ain't gonna be too mad at Kristen for that. Kristen did the most not selfless thing that she can think of at the moment, and that was turning herself in to save you. Even though I don't think it really would have done much, I don't think. Even though CPS is on y'all behind, your child. It was an accident. She could have, got off very easily, and Marlena could have also. It's just not lining up to me. What y'all think about this? Cause it's not making sense between the whole Johnny and how she interacted with Johnny that whole entire time. Then Johnny on trial and EJ defending him, making his situation worse. Now she concerned and worried. Now to come to find out it was her that shot EJ, not Johnny. It's just not adding up to me correctly. It sounded a little. It was really Ava behind that shot EJ, and EJ probably remembering her, or she might have been there. It's not adding up to me at all that this was Rachel that shot EJ. It make a little bit of sense to me, but it sounded a little foolish to me for her to shoot him and don't remember. Then on top of the way she was acting around Johnny, and then on top of it, you got Kristen trying to defend and say her daughter by turning herself in for her daughter won't get in trouble for this, and she won't have CPS on her behind, even though CPS still gonna be on her behind because you the parent, your daughter running around here with a gun, pulling it out on people, it's still gonna look bad on you saying that you shot EJ. So you ain't really aborting the CPS thing. Now I said it was selfless for you turning yourself in for your daughter's sake. But CPS still gonna have a field day with this either way you look at it or turn it. Cause they gonna say you had your daughter in the house, you neglected your daughter, you run around here pulling guns out on people, shooting people. It still don't make no type of sense to me. But that's what happened, and we gonna roll with it, I guess, to see what CPS got to say. And Seek and Slow Salem PD put two and two together and realized that it wasn't Kristen. Probably not. If they had two brain cells to connect together, they would realize it wasn't Johnny in the first place. That's why EJ said he'll be his attorney because he wanted to show that it wasn't his son and he had faith. Like I said, it's a whole lot of what going on, and it's a whole lot of fishy and funny stuff going around now. Like I said, Slow Sailing PD ain't gonna figure it out to about the end of this. Like I said, to the end of this year, probably about the beginning of January. We finna play around with this to about January the 1st, somewhere around there. Watch. I'll be surprised if they figure it out by November, December. Cause this is August, we going into September. It's gonna take slow set on PD about 3 months to play around with it, try to figure it out how Christians, you know how they do. Like I said, I ain't got no faith. It's gonna end up being about November, December, maybe January if you lucky to figure it out that it was Kristen. They already done arrested her and took her word for it and arrested her. Another innocent person we might add and another person on the suspect list. So yeah, if we lucky, this gonna be around for a hot little minute, and they ain't gonna figure it out about. You know what? I think November might be stretching it. I'll say October-ish, November-ish, because this storyline is moving kind of fast now, and we taking unnecessary, routes and turns and turn left when we shouldn't be turning left. We should be turning right. I ain't saying about November. No, I say November-ish, December-ish. We might hit some pay dirt. We might actually build a road to a house. We might depending on how fast they want this to go. And the way they're delaying the way it's going, yeah, November or December-ish, I say, because this September coming up, October, yeah, about 2 months. Get them about 2 months ahead. Get them about 2 months to run off. So yeah, November-ish, December-ish, the latest January. Go ahead and give them all the time they need to play around with this. Pretend that Kristen did it. Get them a slam dunk. They got it a mirror. Go ahead and give them all that, even though it's the wrong person. But we gonna give them that. Um, but yeah, Kristen, I gotta commend you for actually being a mother this time around. I mean, even though EJ was putting all the pressure on you to go ahead and tell and confess and tell the truth because he's still trying to save his son, yeah, you can't get no more selfish than that. I mean, really, you can't. Even Marlena had to commend you and said you just did a selfish thing like protecting yourself for your daughter, cause like they said, this can mess with her psyche. This can make her, she done been through enough already. Poor thing have been traumatized already. Adding this and then adding John on top of that. Yeah, that might be too much for her little brain to handle. So, like I said, this is the first time I ever seen Kristen put on her little white dress and be an angel for the good guys for once. Even though she have had some good guy moments, some good girl moments, and being a good person, this was one that's gonna take the number one spot that Kristen can ever do. Even though it's not gonna save nobody or help anybody, but she doing it anyways. And I commend Kristen for doing it because she didn't have to go there. She could have, took the way and, let it play out with her daughter being, the suspect in the case. She decided not to put her daughter through that. And if she do lose custody, it's gonna go to Brady and Marlena and Belle there to help. So I I say Kristen was an angel this scene. She did what she thought that was gonna help her. So yeah. And it ended up, they ended up falling right into it like the fools they are. So um yeah, I still say it's a little sus, but you know what? Let it play out, I guess. Now we on to the Demira Titan takeover. Gabby using all her feminine wiles right now. It didn't go very far with Xander, so now I'm guessing she trying with Big Head Phillip. Okay. I mean, Gabby, work what you got when you got to work it. I mean, getting rid of the Mara from Titan, that would save you, a little stress and a little aggravation. And that also will help you out too. And that also will help you, have your company back somewhere. You got to go through where even though it would probably still be connived than to tie to the mirror, but you can untie that nine. But I guess go ahead and work your fitment wiles. Use what you got when you have to, and you have to, do a little flirting, a little kissing, a little lunch here and there and all that to get it back. And Andre on board, whatever you got coming up. And then it's not helping with Steve and, using one of his alias who's Stephanie also bust out and said, "My mama told me about this alias, and you like to use this alias to get information." So Stephanie told him that I know it's you, and that if this come out, and that she was investigating Alice, and then Alice had to come clean about his past in college, and the naked bird, him being naked in the bird and all that. And then she also got into Steve about investigating him, and about that whole fraud thing. She said she gonna protect them, and Alice talked to her about that, about they still trying to hold on to the fraud, that they don't want nobody to know about that, because that can also be bad for the Demera Titan takeover. So Stephanie taking a board on that, but she had to tell her daddy off for investigating her boyfriend at the moment, and also going behind her back doing all this. So he calmed her down and told her all this, and he said he can't give her too much information. Steve, we've been trying to talk to Belle, trying to get info on her, on what can Xander and Philip be hiding. Basically, they was looking for, a red line or a strike against them with the takeover. Looked like that came out clean. What Nothing can be found there. So now they're going beyond the Demera Titan takeover. And if they got any dirty skeletons in their closet, and the dirty skeleton is that whole fraudulent letter, forgery letter that Xander, Philip, Alex, Stephanie don't want to come out. So Belle didn't want to talk about it to Steve and say she don't got nothing. Alex not gonna tell Steve. Stephanie know about it, but she ain't gonna tell no about it because she don't want to get herself in trouble over falling behind Philip and falling for Philip bull, BS, and being involved in that mess. So basically, that's what they all covering up now. And Steve basically in the dark. Kayla do Kayla know about that forgery letter? I think she do, but she not gonna tell Steve. Or I think she probably forgot about it or whatnot. But I think Kayla also know about the forged letter. If I remember back that far, I think she also remember. So yeah, Steve trying to figure out what's going on with that and how he could find a way to get back the mirror from Titan, trying to help Gabby, and Gabby trying what she can and working her female wiles trying to do that. And so we'll see how it turned out, I guess. Like I said, it's a whole lot of, even though I want that to really come out about the whole forgery letter that'll sit Philip down, but Philip have been calm lately. Have y'all noticed that Philip been a little bit too calm lately? And he ain't really been getting into too much trouble. And he told Gabby, "Look, I know what you're doing. You already done tried Xander. Now you going after me thinking I'm gonna be your opening and all this and all that." And he ain't falling for it. And basically, he ain't falling for her, but he did agree to have lunch with her. So basically, that's with them. Now we on the Chad and Kay, yeah, that mess is going a whole lot farther. Julie ain't gonna like it, but it's going a whole lot farther, and it is not going anywhere good in Julie's eyes. Hopefully, the talk Marlena gave her, and hopefully, with Marlena calming her down, telling her not to worry about it and all this and all that. Hopefully, she'll compose herself and calm down, but they right there, literally, they right there on that line for becoming, boyfriend and girlfriend. And Chad don't want no interference anyways, and his scene's coming to an end quick. So yeah, they're gonna make it official and leave town. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen, but yeah, that line right there. And I'm also proud of Julie. Even though she needed a whole lot of pep talking between Marlena, Chad, Marlena, Chad, and somebody else told her, go ahead and get the bookstore. That'll be a nice little challenge for you, something for you to do during the day. You know, running the company all over again. Your little restaurant with Doug, y'all did. Then Chez Rouge. Are they the two same restaurants or they different restaurants? I remember having two restaurants, Chez Rouge and the one with Doug. And Doug Place. That was the other one. Doug Place and Chez Rouge. If I'm thinking that was her second one. I'm thinking. I think it was Chez Rouge and Julie's place and Doug, was it Doug's place or Julie's place? One of those two. And yeah, that'll give her something to do. You know, give her something to do besides worrying about Chad. So that'll be a lot good for her to, you know, take over that bookstore since the man can no longer take care of it no more. So yeah, that'll also help her out. And now we on to Sophia. Sophia, basically, Sarah then busted you out. Brady thinking and remembering. And now he also caught you in lies and caught you calling the baby a boy but not a girl. Sarah already says she can't say anything because she protected by hip and she protected by HIP and the law, so she can't basically tell it. But Brady's slowly and surely figuring it out. And with that baby being around town and you know that's your child, it's only gonna get a whole lot worse for you. So what I can tell you to do, Sophia, is hold yourself, embrace yourself, and you finna find out that you listening to trash and do you no type of good whatsoever. You should have left trash where she was at and shouldn't have listened to trash. If you want to give up that baby, you should have did it the correct way, not the wrong way, listening to trash. Cause trash don't mean you no type of good, and you finna realize trash finna get you in a whole lot of trouble before it get good for you pertaining to that baby. Got them people sending out fake letters, emails, and stuff that baby thinking is connected to that baby, and you and well trash, they're collecting it for you, acting like it was red or it was sent. So yeah, this is to get you in a whole lot of trouble. A whole lot of trouble you're not prepared for or ready for. Um, I think that's it. The trial, Sophia, Brady remembering about that baby. The trial, Rachel, Alex in that secret and that forgery, the mayor tie-in, and the investigation. That's all that really happened this week. Even though I was gonna come to y'all yesterday, I decided to wait till today, and I'm glad I did. But anyways, though, that was the episode. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Enjoy the rest of y'all night. Have a good weekend. Happy Memorial, happy Labor Day to y'all. I think it is Labor Day weekend coming up, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.